Chosen one, this is urgent. If you're seeing this message right now, make no mistake. This is not random chance or coincidence. This is divine intervention at its highest level. The Creator of the universe has guided your path to this exact moment for a reason that transcends human understanding. What you're about to receive is not merely information. It is a spiritual transfer of divine wisdom that will fundamentally alter the course of your life. This message contains revelations that God has reserved specifically for you, the chosen vessel, who has been prepared through trials and tribulations for this precise moment. But I must warn you, this message will disappear soon. The window of divine opportunity is rapidly closing. What I'm about to reveal cannot remain accessible forever. It is for those who are spiritually attuned enough to recognize its significance and act upon it immediately. The prayers you've whispered in darkness, the tears you've shed when no one was watching, the moments you questioned if God even heard you. All of these experiences were preparing you for this moment of divine connection. You are transitioning from a season of waiting into a season of receiving. Can you feel it? That stirring in your spirit right now is confirmation that you are indeed among the chosen. Your spiritual discernment is being activated as you listen to these words. Those who are not divinely selected for this message will likely click away. They are not yet ready for the level of spiritual elevation that awaits you. This is not a normal spiritual message. This is a once-in-a-lifetime spiritual blueprint that will align every aspect of your life with heaven's divine timing. Everything you've been praying for, hoping for, and waiting for is no longer just a distant dream. It is manifesting now with supernatural acceleration. Right now, take a moment to demonstrate your spiritual readiness. Hit that like button as a symbol of your receptivity. Subscribe to this channel to remain connected to future divine revelations, and type 777 in the comments to send a powerful signal to the universe that you are prepared to receive this sacred wisdom. Ask yourself, why am I seeing this message today? What has aligned in the spiritual realm to bring me to this moment? The divine timing of your encounter with these words is no accident. It is the culmination of a spiritual journey that has been unfolding your entire life. The clock is ticking. The spiritual doorway is narrowing. Your breakthrough awaits on the other side of complete attention to this message. Do not allow distractions to rob you of your divine moment. Your time to rise has arrived, chosen one. Section 1. The Divine Appointment. In life, there are moments when time seems to stand still, when the veil between heaven and earth grows thin, when the divine breaks through into our ordinary existence with extraordinary purpose. Right now, you are experiencing one of those sacred moments. This is not just another day in your life. This is a divine appointment that was scheduled before you were even born. When God crafted your soul, He marked this day on the spiritual calendar as a turning point in your journey. Think about what had to align for you to be here right now, the exact timing of when you picked up your device, the specific algorithm that brought this message to you, the spiritual hunger in your heart that made you click. None of these are random coincidences. They are divine orchestrations. Out of billions of souls on this planet, you were divinely selected to receive these words at this precise moment. Your spirit has been prepared through seasons of testing to recognize authentic spiritual truth when it appears before you. While others might scroll past, something within you knew this message contained the answers you've been seeking. the challenges you've faced, the rejection, the isolation, the moments when you felt misunderstood by everyone around you were not punishment. They were preparation. Like a diamond formed under pressure, your spirit has been strengthened through trials to carry the weight of the divine blessing that's about to be released into your life. Ask yourself, how many times have you felt different from those around you? How often have you sensed a calling on your life that others couldn't understand? That feeling of being set apart wasn't your imagination. It was your spirit recognizing your chosen status before your mind could comprehend it. Every tear you've shed in private, every prayer that seemed to go unanswered, every moment you persevered when others would have given up, God was watching. He was measuring your faithfulness, testing your resilience, and preparing you for this divine moment of revelation. What appears as delay in the natural realm is often divine timing in the spiritual realm. The enemy has worked tirelessly to prevent you from receiving this message because he knows the power it contains. He has created distractions, doubts, and detours to keep you from this appointment. But his efforts have failed. You have arrived at exactly the right moment, in exactly the right spiritual condition to receive exactly what heaven has prepared for you. The spiritual realm operates on precise timing. Just as there are seasons in nature, there are divine windows of opportunity in your spiritual journey. This window before you now is rare and precious. It will not remain open indefinitely. The message you're receiving carries time-sensitive spiritual authority that must be acted upon while the divine portal remains accessible. Many are called, but few are chosen. The difference between the called and the chosen lies in their response to divine opportunity. Will you recognize this moment for what it truly is? Will you give it the reverence it deserves? Your ability to discern the significance of this divine appointment will determine the magnitude of the blessing that follows. The world around you may continue in its chaotic, frantic pace, but for you, time has slowed. Heaven has created a sacred space in the midst of your busy life for this encounter. There is a divine mandate being transferred to your spirit right now that will redirect the course of your life. Consider the biblical account of Samuel, who heard God's voice, but didn't recognize it until he was taught to respond. Like Samuel, you've been hearing the whispers of the divine throughout your life, but perhaps you haven't known how to interpret them until now. This message is your spiritual Eli, teaching you to recognize and respond to the voice that has been calling you all along. What if everything you've experienced until now, every disappointment, every closed door, every unanswered prayer, was perfectly orchestrated to position you for this moment? What if your past wasn't about punishment, but about divine positioning? Do you feel that stirring in your spirit right now? That's not emotion. It's divine recognition. Your spirit knows before your mind can process that you've arrived at a sacred crossroads. The path you choose from this moment forward will either align you with your divine destiny or lead you back into the wilderness of waiting. For those truly chosen, this message carries a weight of glory that transcends human understanding. It's not just information being transferred, it's spiritual authority, divine clarity, and heaven's favor being downloaded directly into your spirit. This is the moment everything changes. This is your divine appointment, and it will not come again in the same way. Section 2. Your season of divine direction. God is about to speak directly to your heart. The first divine word He wants you to receive is direction. You have wandered long enough in the wilderness of uncertainty and confusion. The season of questioning which path to take is over. For too long, you've felt lost, uncertain about your next steps. You've stood at crossroads, praying for a sign, wondering if God even heard your pleas for clarity. That painful season of confusion was not meant to last forever. It was a temporary testing ground designed to prepare you for the clarity that heaven is now releasing into your life. This shift in direction isn't merely about one decision, it's about every area of your existence, your relationships, your career, your finances, your health, and your spiritual walk. Imagine walking through life with divine GPS, guiding your every step. No more second guessing, no more agonizing over decisions, no more fear of making the wrong choice. This is the supernatural clarity God is downloading into your spirit right now. Ask yourself, how would your life transform if you could see each decision through heaven's perspective? What would change if you knew with absolute certainty which relationships to nurture and which to release? How would your career flourish if divine wisdom guided every professional choice? The fog of uncertainty that has clouded your vision is being lifted. Where once you saw dimly, you will now see with crystal clarity. This clarity comes not from your own understanding, but from divine revelation being etched into your spirit. You will begin to notice subtle shifts in how you perceive situations, people, and opportunities. What once confused you will suddenly make perfect sense. Trust is the currency of this new season. As divine direction flows into your life, you must trust the intuitive nudges, the whispers of the Holy Spirit, and the signs God places in your path. These won't always be loud, dramatic revelations. Often they'll come as quiet certainty in your spirit, a knowing that transcends logical explanation. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This promise from Jeremiah 29-11 is being activated in your life in this very moment. God's blueprint for your life has always existed, but now the veil is being removed so you can see it with supernatural clarity. The direction coming to you now is specific, not general. It's tailored precisely for you, for your unique gifts, your divine purpose, and your spiritual DNA. No one else can walk this path. It was designed before the foundations of the earth, specifically for the chosen one. Reading these words. In your relationships, God will reveal who belongs in your inner circle and who must be released. Some connections that once seemed important will suddenly feel heavy, while others you might have overlooked will begin to radiate divine purpose. Trust these spiritual discernments. They are heaven's way of aligning your relational world with your destiny. In your finances, divine direction will manifest as supernatural wisdom about investments. Career moves and resource management opportunities that others miss will become obvious to you. Pitfalls that trap others will be clearly visible to your spiritually enhanced perception. Financial increase follows divine direction. The two are inseparably linked in heaven's economy. In your health, you'll receive specific guidance about changes needed to align your physical vessel with your spiritual purpose. Your body is the temple that houses your calling. Divine direction will illuminate exactly what adjustments are needed to optimize your physical capacity for the assignment ahead. What thought keeps recurring in your mind as you read these words? Pay attention. That persistent idea isn't random. It's the beginning of divine direction, taking root in your consciousness. God often plants the seeds of direction before the full revelation arrives. Those recurring thoughts are heaven's whispers, directing you toward your next divine appointment. The days of wandering aimlessly are over. From this moment forward, your steps will be ordered by the Lord, each decision you make. From the seemingly insignificant to the obviously life-altering will come with divine wisdom and supernatural clarity. There will be no more second-guessing, no more paralysis by analysis, no more fear-based procrastination. When you align with divine direction, supernatural acceleration follows. Doors that would normally take years to open will swing wide in days. Opportunities that others work decades to create will appear suddenly in your path. Divine connections that typically require years to develop will manifest in moments. This is the supernatural advantage of walking in heaven's perfect GPS system. Your days of confusion end today. Your season of divine direction begins now. The clarity you've been seeking is being downloaded into your spirit as you read these very words. Receive it, walk in it. Your divinely guided journey has just begun. Section 3. The Abundance Awakening. The second word God is speaking over your life today is abundance. This divine revelation transcends the limited human understanding of prosperity. This is not merely about financial increase, though that is certainly part of it. This is about a supernatural overflow in every dimension of your existence. For too long, the enemy has convinced many chosen ones to accept a life of lack, to believe that spiritual wealth and material poverty somehow go hand in hand. This deception ends today. God never intended for his chosen vessels to live in lack, struggle, or scarcity. The creator of infinite galaxies, endless oceans, and boundless skies is not a God of limitation. He is the God of more than enough. Your spiritual DNA is coded for abundance. Just as a seed contains everything needed to become a mighty oak, your spirit contains the divine programming for extraordinary prosperity. This dormant coding is being activated right now as these words penetrate your consciousness. Can you feel that shift happening within you? That is the abundance mentality awakening in your spirit. Ask yourself, what areas of my life have I accepted less than God's best? Where have I settled for survival when God intended supernatural thriving? How would my impact in this world multiply if unlimited resources flowed through my hands? The abundance now being released into your life will manifest in 3 dimensions. First, financial prosperity is being unlocked, divine connections that lead to unexpected income streams, supernatural favor in business dealings, creative ideas worth millions, the download into your mind during prayer. These are not fantasy. They are your spiritual inheritance being activated. Debt that has held you captive will begin to dissolve as heaven's economy overrides earthly limitations. But understand this clearly. God's financial abundance never comes to make you comfortable. It comes to make you dangerous to the enemy's kingdom. Every dollar that flows into your life carries divine assignment. As this abundance manifests, seek God's direction for its purpose. The level of your giving will directly impact the level of your receiving in this new season. Second, relational wealth is being poured out. The isolation and rejection that marked previous seasons is being replaced with divine connections. People who recognize your value, honor your calling, and complement your purpose are being divinely directed into your path. These aren't ordinary relationships. They are strategic heavenly assignments, each one carrying a specific purpose in your destiny. Some relationships will bring healing to wounded places. Others will open doors you couldn't access alone. Still others will provide wisdom for critical decisions. Pay careful attention to new people entering your life in this season. None are random. Each carries a specific piece of your abundance puzzle. Third, spiritual overflow is being activated. Your prayer life, your spiritual discernment, your supernatural gifts, all are being elevated to unprecedented levels. Revelations that once took months of seeking will download in moments. Spiritual warfare that once drained you will be won with a single word. Divine insights that change lives will flow through you effortlessly. This abundance isn't coming because you've earned it, or because you're somehow more deserving than others. It comes because you've been positioned for it through divine timing. Your faithfulness during seasons of lack has qualified you for supernatural overflow. Your refusal to compromise during times of scarcity has prepared you for responsible stewardship. Abundance without divine wisdom leads to destruction. This is why God has first given you direction before releasing this extraordinary provision. The clarity you received in the previous divine revelation was preparation for the abundance now being released. Without heavenly guidance, prosperity becomes a trap rather than a blessing. The manifestation of this abundance will not look the same for every chosen one. For some, it will come as sudden windfalls, unexpected checks, surprise inheritances, supernatural debt cancellation. For others, it will arrive as divine ideas and opportunities that, when acted upon with faith, create sustainable wealth. For still others, it will appear as supernatural favor that causes ordinary efforts to produce extraordinary results. What remains consistent for all chosen ones is this: your days of just enough are over. The God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills is releasing his unlimited resources to fund your divine assignment. The enemy has worked tirelessly to keep you trapped in cycles of lack and limitation because he fears what will happen when abundance flows through yielded vessels. From this day forward, reject every thought of scarcity. Refuse to partner with poverty mentality. Your words must align with this new reality of abundance. Speak as though the provision is already in your hands, because in the spiritual realm it is. The manifestation you see in the natural is merely catching up to what has already been established in the spirit. Prepare your heart, your mind, and your hands. The abundance awakening has begun, and nothing will ever be the same. Section 4. You have passed the test. The third divine word God is speaking over your life today is this: you have passed. Every tear you've shed, every battle you've fought, every moment you've persevered, when others would have surrendered all of it, has been observed and recorded in heaven's ledgers. What appeared to be random hardships in your life were actually divine examinations. The Creator was testing your faith, your character, your resilience, and your commitment to purpose. While others saw only your struggles, God was watching your responses to those struggles, and today, heaven announces its verdict. You have passed with divine honors the rejection that cut so deeply, the betrayal that seemed to shatter your heart, the financial setbacks that threatened to break you, the health challenges that tested your faith. None of these were meant to destroy you. They were carefully calibrated tests designed to prepare you for the weight of glory about to be placed upon your life. Ask yourself, what if every painful experience wasn't punishment but preparation? What if God allowed difficult people in your life not to hurt you, but to develop spiritual muscles you'll need for your divine assignment? What if every tear you've cried has been collected by angels as evidence of your qualification for what comes next? In the spiritual realm, promotion follows testing. Just as Joseph endured the pit and the prison before the palace, you have endured your season of testing before divine elevation. The pit wasn't your punishment. It was your preparation. The prison wasn't your failure. It was your formation. Every difficult season was shaping you for the palace God had already prepared. Many began the journey alongside you, but few demonstrated the spiritual stamina to complete the course. Some surrendered to bitterness when disappointment came. Others compromised their values when testing intensified. Still others abandoned their faith when trials persisted. But you have remained faithful. You have kept your integrity. You have persevered when surrender seemed the only option. And now divine promotion awaits. This isn't just any promotion. This is supernatural elevation that will be evident to everyone who knows you. The very people who witnessed your struggles will soon stand amazed at your sudden advancement. Those who rejected you will watch in awe as God's favor surrounds you like a shield. Those who doubted your calling will be silenced by the undeniable evidence of divine selection. This elevation will manifest in 3 dimensions. First, there will be spiritual advancement. Your discernment will sharpen overnight. Revelations that once took years of seeking will download into your spirit in moments. Your prayers will carry new authority. Your words will contain creative power. The gifts of the Spirit that have operated occasionally will function with consistency and precision. Second, there will be social promotion. Doors that remained firmly shut despite your best efforts will suddenly swing open. People who never returned your calls will now seek your wisdom. Opportunities reserved for those with connections will appear in your path through supernatural orchestration. You will find yourself invited into rooms where decisions are made, rooms your credentials alone could never access. Third, there will be material elevation. The financial struggles that have persisted despite your faithfulness will give way to supernatural provision. Resources will flow from unexpected sources. Business ideas will succeed beyond natural explanation. Career advancements that typically take decades will manifest in months. Your material world will finally align with your spiritual identity. This divine promotion isn't based on worldly qualifications or human endorsement. It comes directly from the throne of God as recognition of your faithfulness during seasons of testing. While others advanced through compromise, manipulation, or human networking, your promotion comes through divine decree that cannot be reversed by any earthly power. The wilderness season you've endured was never meant to be your permanent address. It was always a temporary training ground. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel to freedom. David waited in caves before ascending to the throne. Jesus himself was tested in the wilderness before beginning his public ministry. Your wilderness experience wasn't abandonment. It was divine preparation for your promotion. From this day forward, you will begin to see tangible evidence of this divine promotion. Opportunities will arise that defy logical explanation. Favor will rest upon your efforts, causing ordinary actions to produce extraordinary results. Resources will align with your vision in ways that can only be attributed to supernatural intervention. The testing is complete. Heaven's verdict has been rendered. You have been found faithful in little, and now you will be entrusted with much. The divine promotion has been authorized, and no power in heaven, on earth, or under the earth can reverse what God has decreed over your life. You have passed the test. Your season of divine promotion has begun. Section 5. The Spiritual Activation. What you are experiencing right now is not just a message. It is a divine transfer of spiritual power, authority, and purpose. This is a sacred moment of activation, where dormant spiritual gifts, divine purposes, and heavenly assignments are being awakened within your spirit. Throughout history, God has used specific moments to activate his chosen vessels. Moses at the burning bush, Samuel hearing his name called in the night Paul on the Damascus road. These weren't merely informational encounters. They were transformational activations that forever altered their spiritual DNA. Today, you stand at your own burning bush moment, your own divine activation. Deep within your spirit, there have been dormant gifts, untapped potential, and divine purposes waiting for this precise moment of awakening. Just as a seed contains everything needed to become a mighty tree, but requires the right conditions to activate, your spirit contains everything needed for your divine assignment, but has awaited this moment of supernatural activation. Ask yourself, what dreams have I carried that seemed impossible to fulfill? What callings have I sensed that appeared too grand for someone like me? What divine whispers have I heard that I dared not believe could be for me? These weren't delusions. They were divine downloads ahead of their activation time. This activation is manifesting in 3 dimensions. First, there is a spiritual gift activation taking place. Supernatural abilities that have operated sporadically or remained completely dormant are being fully awakened. The gift of discernment, allowing you to see beyond natural appearances. The gift of wisdom, providing solutions to impossible problems. The gift of faith that moves mountains of impossibility. The prophetic ability to speak divine revelation. These aren't just religious concepts. They are practical spiritual tools being activated for your divine assignment. Some gifts you've recognized in seeds form. Others will surprise you completely as they suddenly manifest in response to kingdom needs. Pay attention to new spiritual sensitivities and capabilities that emerge in the coming days. These aren't coincidental. They are direct results of this activation moment. Second, there is a purpose activation unfolding. The specific assignment God designed you for before the foundation of the world is being downloaded into your conscious awareness. The confusion about your purpose is lifting. The question, "Why am I here?" is receiving its divine answer. Your unique contribution to this generation is being clarified with supernatural precision. This purpose activation brings with it a holy dissatisfaction with anything less than your full destiny. Jobs, relationships, and activities that once seemed acceptable will suddenly feel misaligned if they don't contribute to your divine assignment. This isn't restlessness, it's divine alignment, compelling you toward your true purpose. Third, there is an authority activation taking place. Spiritual authority is the divine right to operate with heaven's backing in specific domains. The authority to bring deliverance, to release healing, to establish divine order, to create wealth for kingdom purposes, to influence culture. Whatever your specific domain, dormant authority is now being activated. This authority will be evident in your words carrying new power, your prayers producing tangible results, and your very presence shifting atmospheres. People will sense this authority even before you speak. It emanates from those who've experienced genuine spiritual activation. Unlike worldly power that demands submission, spiritual authority attracts those who recognize authentic divine commissioning. The humble authority now being activated in your life will draw those who need what God has deposited within you, while repelling those with counterfeit spiritual agendas. This activation is not just for your benefit, It carries divine responsibility. Every spiritual gift, every clear purpose, every measure of authority comes with accountability to the one who activated it. These divine deposits are investments heaven has made in you, with expectations of kingdom returns. The greater the activation, the greater the responsibility to steward it faithfully. The window for receiving this activation is brief. Just as certain planetary alignments create moments when cosmic forces uniquely converge, certain spiritual alignments create moments when divine impartation is uniquely available. This is such a moment. A divine portal has opened for genuine activation. Those who recognize it and actively receive it will experience transformation. Those who dismiss it will miss this unique moment of impartation. What you do in the next 24 hours is critical. Divine activation requires more than passive acknowledgement. It demands active participation. Speak words of acceptance over these activated gifts. Take initial steps toward your clarified purpose. Exercise the spiritual authority being released within you. This active response completes the circuit of divine activation. From this moment forward, you are not the same person who began reading these words. A spiritual metamorphosis has occurred. Divine DNA has been activated. Dormant potential has been awakened. The chosen one has been activated for their divine assignment. Nothing will ever be the same. Section 6. The confirmation coming. In the coming hours and days, God will confirm this divine message through supernatural signs and divine encounters. This is not just a casual word. It is a prophetic declaration carrying heaven's authority that will be validated through tangible confirmation. Throughout Scripture, God always confirmed His word with signs following. Moses received confirmation through a rod that transformed into a serpent. Gideon received confirmation through dew on a fleece. The disciples received confirmation through miracles that followed their preaching. In the same way, you will receive undeniable confirmation that will remove all doubt about this divine message. These confirmations will come in various forms, uniquely tailored to your spiritual journey and level of discernment. For some, they will arrive as divine coincidences that defy statistical probability events so precisely aligned with this message that only supernatural orchestration could explain them. For others, confirmation will come through dreams or visions that validate the words you've received today. Still others will experience sudden open doors or miraculous provision that serves as heaven's exclamation point on this prophetic word. Ask yourself, what specific confirmation would eliminate all doubt from my mind? What sign would convince me beyond question that this message truly came from God? Now watch carefully, for that precise confirmation is already being set in motion in the spiritual realm. The divine confirmations will manifest in 3 dimensions. First, there will be external confirmations in your circumstances, unexpected phone calls, offering opportunities that align perfectly with the direction you've received. Chance encounters with people who speak words that echo this exact message. Resources appearing from unexpected sources precisely when needed for your next step. These aren't random coincidences. They are divinely orchestrated confirmations. Pay attention to repeated numbers, names, or themes that suddenly appear in your awareness. These patterns aren't meaningless. They are heaven's Morse code confirming this prophetic word. When the same message comes through multiple unrelated channels, recognize it as divine validation, not coincidence. Second, there will be internal confirmations in your spirit. A deep, unshakable peace about decisions that previously caused anxiety. Sudden clarity about questions that have long confused you. an unmistakable knowing that transcends logical explanation. These internal witnesses are the Holy Spirit's confirmation method, validating truth in your innermost being. The enemy can counterfeit external signs, but he cannot replicate the internal witness of God's Spirit connecting with yours. That soul-deep resonance when truth aligns with your spirit is confirmation that no counter-argument can dismiss. Trust this internal confirmation above all others. Third, there will be scriptural confirmations. Through God's written word, verses you've read countless times will suddenly illuminate with new meaning. Biblical principles will connect in ways you've never seen before. Promises from Scripture will leap from the page with personal application. These aren't just inspiring Bible moments, they are divine confirmations anchoring this prophetic word in timeless truth. God never speaks prophetically in contradiction to His written word. The confirmations you receive through Scripture serve as divine validation that what you're hearing aligns with eternal truth, not temporal deception. As these confirmations begin to manifest, you will face a critical choice. Will you look backward toward what you're leaving behind, or forward toward what God is revealing? The enemy will attempt to use nostalgia, fear, and false comfort to draw your gaze back toward the familiar past. But divine acceleration comes only to those who resolutely fix their eyes on what lies ahead. Lot's wife was transformed into a pillar of salt because she looked back toward Sodom when angels were leading her family to safety. Her backward glance revealed her heart remained tethered to what God was leading her from. The physical destruction she suffered merely manifested the spiritual condition already present. Crystallized attachment to what should have been released. What season, situation, relationship, or mindset is God calling you to leave behind without a backward glance? What Sodom in your life needs to be released completely for you to fully embrace the new thing God is doing? The confirmations coming will illuminate precisely what must be released and what must be embraced. The window between divine declaration and human decision is brief. When confirmation comes, and it will come, immediate obedience activates accelerated blessing. Delayed response diminishes divine momentum. The confirmations God sends are not merely for validation, they are invitations to immediate action that positions you for supernatural results. The clock is ticking. Heaven's confirmation is already in motion. Your responsibility is to remain spiritually alert. Recognize divine validation when it appears, and respond with immediate, wholehearted obedience. This is how chosen ones convert prophetic words into manifest reality. This message stands as a divine crossroads in your spiritual journey. The revelations you've received today, direction, abundance, divine promotion, spiritual activation, and coming confirmation, all converge into this final moment of decision. Will you step fully into your identity as a chosen one, or will you remain among the merely called? There is a profound difference between being called and being chosen. Many receive the call. They sense the divine invitation. They recognize the spiritual potential. They even acknowledge the heavenly assignment. But far fewer become the chosen ones who actually respond with complete surrender, unwavering faith, and immediate obedience. Jesus himself said, "Many are called, but few are chosen." This wasn't a statement about God's selection process, but about humanity's response to divine invitation. The called hear the voice, but continue with life unchanged. The chosen rise immediately, leave everything behind, and follow without hesitation. The supernatural shift you've been praying for, the divine breakthrough you've been seeking, the spiritual elevation you've been crying out for, it all hinges on this moment of decision. Will you remain comfortable in the familiar territory of the called, or will you step boldly into the demanding but glorious reality of the chosen? This is not a decision to be postponed until tomorrow. Divine timing operates in specific windows of opportunity that once closed may not reopen in the same way again. The spiritual forces aligned for your breakthrough today may shift if decision is delayed. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. Only this moment of divine appointment is certain. Right now, before this message concludes, make your commitment. Speak it aloud. I am a chosen one. I embrace my divine assignment without reservation. I step fully into everything revealed in this message. I release what lies behind and reach forward to what lies ahead. My decision is made. I am chosen, not merely called. As you've watched this message to its completion, you've demonstrated spiritual discernment that separates you from those who couldn't receive this level of truth. Now demonstrate the courage that separates the chosen from the merely called. If this message has awakened something in your spirit, hit that like button right now as a physical declaration of your spiritual decision. Subscribe to this channel to remain connected to future divine revelations, and type 777 in the comments to declare to the spiritual realm that you have made your choice. You are stepping fully into your identity as a chosen one. The divine decision is yours. The time is now. Heaven awaits your response.